Hello everyone, welcome. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to plot two-dimensional curves. So before starting with curves, we're going to start with straight lines. Now we know that a line is an entity which contains successive number of points which are in continuous series, are continuous with each other. Unlike with a bar chart and a histogram, which are discrete, we have a particular point which are discrete, which are separated from others. With a line, they are continuous, and with curves, they are also continuous. So, in order for you to plot lines, it is very necessary for you to use vectors. So, we are going to use vectors in order for us to plot lines. So, let's start. So, we are going to use the first vector. The first vector we are going to call it x. So this x is going to, let's say we want that we can use this format here, or we can use the format of lean space. So we will take this first format in order for us to draw the lines. So we have from 0, we start, the value will start from 0. It's going to increment by 1, and then it's going to end at the last term 10. So start from 0, increment by 1, and at last term 10. We have this. So place my semicolon. I don't want to see the values. Now I have y is equals to, I do same. I start from 0, I increment instead by 2, and I end with 20. So I do this. So I'm going to do this and have the same values. Now, in order for me to plot this curve, I'm just going to have these values of y. These are the values of y here. So in order for me to see the value of y, I'm just going to write this. These are the values of y which are here, and the values, these are values of x instead, which are here, and the values of y are going to be this one. So you see that they are exactly 10 terms, and since there are 10 terms, see that this point is going to correspond with this, and this point are going to, each of them are going to correspond with each other upon plotting. This will be the first point, this will be the second point, third point, fourth point, and all the rest. So in order for me to plot, I'm just going to write plot in bracket. I'll write x, comma, and I'll write y. I'll close the bracket as such. When I do this, I just press enter, and then the figure is shown to me here. So the figure is a straight line as such, where this is the point 0, 0, the starting point. When you have 0, 0, you have this. The next point you can be 5, and you have the different points. You have 1 and 2. You have all this. These are the different points which are shown. Now, in order for me to see, there are different properties which are used with the plot. So you can have this first property. You have there insert text. You can insert text here. I write the string here. I can decide to insert the text here on the axis here. I'll just write here. If I want to insert the text here, I'll write. I can write the x-axis. I'll call it y-axis. Yeah. So here you write y-axis. I can insert text here. I write x-axis. So it depends on to me. You can insert text here. You can move on upon the axis. You can remove the axis with this. You can go to the grid, make the grid with this. After making the grid, you can do the auto scale. Or that you can even do the edit here. You can do the tool. After having the tool, you can pan, you can move in the x and y direction. If I want to move it in the x and y direction, I'm going to have this. So I'm going to have all this if I want to move in the x and y direction. So this is the different properties which I can use with the figures. Now, similarly, you can still write the x and y axis with the format x label. In bracket, I can write here x axis. I write inside here x label. In bracket, you write in a string format x axis. And you can also write, you see that inside here is going to be shown x-axis. You see x-axis is shown here. Again, you can write the y label. bracket, you close, you put in a string format, you write the y-axis. Now when you do that, so label is just because of this, I go up, I remove, I put L instead here. So y label, you have this. See that the y-axis is going to be shown as this. You are also capable of doing the title. So you write only title and put in bracket, you put in a string format, and you write my first curve with the SCHRDBB. So my first curve with the SCHRDBB. So this is it. So I have this. So when I press enter, you see that the name my first curve with the SCHRDBB appears. So this is how you are capable of plotting it on your curve. Now you can still write plot. Now if you want to change a different format, you say I have x comma y, I place it, have the plot shown to you. So this is the plot. I am capable of changing the plot now, and I put instead x marks at different points of the plot which I've shown there. So I'm going to write instead plot. If I want to place the x marks, I'm going to write here, I'm going to say x comma y. Now I'm going to place the x marks now inside quotes, like as such. When I play inside quote and I write x like this, so you can press now and then visualize the figure. You see that there upon all the points there, you are going to see x as such. Now again, you can write again another plot. You can have again another plot where you can instead want zeros to appear. So you place in the quotes instead 0 as such. So when I place 0, we are going to plot it and visualize how it's going to go. So it's going to come only with a straight line. If I place O as such, then you are going to have this with circles. Now if I come and say plot and I place instead so I place instead the star here, I'm going to have this. So these are different formats of plotting your curves. Now you can now, these are the different formats, the main format of plotting your different your line. Now if you want to plot a curve, let's say I want instead now to plot a curve. And also before we move on, you can also note how to change the color of the curve. If I want to change the color of the curve now instead to red color, I'm going to place instead here red. So I'll place the word R. So R represent red, is going to be red. So if I want to change it into green, I'm going to place the word G. So when I do this, I come here, it's now green. If I want to place instead a blue color, I'm going to place blue. So these are the main colors of our eye. RGB. So these are the one which are taken in priority, with their first letters being the parameter in the plot. So you have this, can come and see, you see that this is blue. Lastly, if you want to place the plot now in black, you are not going to use K, but you are going to use either 0 or you can place K. So I'm going to place K. So 0 in this case and K here. So you place it, come and see, you see it's black. So these are the main plot here. Now if I want to plot, you've seen here how to plot a line. If I want to plot now a sine curve, how do I plot a sine curve? Now let's say if I want to plot a sine curve, I'm going to first change now the variables, the variables that were involved. In this case, I'm not going to use the square bracket, but I'm going to use the linspace in order to space the variable equally. So I'm going to start from 0. I'm going to go up to 360 degrees, I'm going to start from 0. I go to 360 degrees and I evenly space them by 360 degrees. I even space each of them by 360 degrees. This is what I want. So this is my first line space. Now I will place semicolon because I don't want to see the values. Later on, what I will do again is that I will use y is equals to, now you see that these are the values of x here. These are the different values of x here. Now the values of y, and you see that the values of x I'm going to enter are going to consider 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, all that 108 degrees to 360 degrees. The first degree will be 0 degree, the next degree will be 360 degrees. All of them are going to be spaced by 360 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is that I am going to use my function I've created. So I'm going to use that function I've created. It's called sine d. So I'll use here sine d into, I will now place the different values of x. I'll place x inside. So I want to plot a sine, is the sine of an angle function, a function of sine of an angle. So I'll just place sine d here. Then I do a semicolon because I don't want to see all their values. When I place sine d, I can write now plot into x, comma, and y. So this is how I will plot. When I will do this, I then come and I see how it has been plotted. So this is sine curve starting from 0 and 0. So I can still move the curve. So you have, this is a sine curve shown to you. Now if I want to plot the cosine curve, I'll instead write here that y is equals to the cos d, because I've also created this function cos d. We've seen how to create the function cos d. So we say cos d, now instead place x there. When I place x, no, I don't want that this, I just place cos d. Now I have plot that I'm going to place like this. So when you have this, you see that the cosine is going to be given up to you with different value, with the curve like this. Now when you have the cosine again, this is the plot for the cosine. Now the next one, you can decide to plot for the tangent, but we didn't change for the format of tangent, so we will just leave for tangent plotting for next time. Lastly, so this is how we have plotted the line, and we have also plotted the different curves inside octave programming. So from here, we've said thanks for your kind attention, and hope that you subscribe for Sound Video Maker channel and like SCH Thank you.